Viewer discretion is advised. They felt helpless. All they could do was just sit in the bathroom and hope they would go away. The room felt like their only safe haven, until they were exposed to them for too long. Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today we bring you SCP Foundation Euclid Class Object SCP-1471. SCP-1471, also known as MalO version 1.0.0, is a free 9.8 megabyte application for mobile devices, distributed in online application stores with this description. Never settle for those awkward feelings of being alone ever again. MalO is an exciting and interactive experience that will keep you engaged and intrigued. The anxiety of social situations can be nerve-wracking, but after just a few hours of MalO, you will soon forget all about those painful emotions of disappointment. Be part of the new craze that is quickly becoming the next social substitute. Remember, the more you participate, the more MalO will engage you. Your experience is completely up to you. Absolutely no ads. Enjoy! 1471 has no listed developer and is somehow able to bypass the application approval process to go directly to distribution. 1471 is also able to avoid removal by other program manager applications. After SCP-1471 is installed, it will then begin to send the user images through text messaging every 3 to 6 hours. All images will contain SCP-1471-A, either within the background or foreground. SCP-1471-A appears as a large humanoid figure with a canid-like skull and black hair. On the first day of installation, the mobile device will receive images taken at locations commonly frequented by the user. After 48 hours, the mobile device will receive images taken at locations that were recently visited by the user. After 72 hours, the mobile device will receive images of the user in real time, with 1471-A appearing within close proximity to the user. Users with over 90 hours of exposure to the continuous images will begin to briefly visualize 1471-A within their peripheral vision, reflective surfaces, or a combination of the two. Continued exposure to 1471 after this point will cause irreversible and sustained visualizations of 1471-A. Users at this stage have reported periodic attempts made by 1471-A to visually communicate with them, but fail to understand or comprehend these actions. Currently, the only known treatment to reverse 1471's effect is to eliminate the user's visual exposure to the images prior to 90 hours after installation. To date, no apparent hostile activity has been reported regarding 1471-A. All mobile devices that have 1471 installed are to be confiscated and analyzed for any potential leads to other possibly affected devices. Afterwards, affected devices are to have their batteries removed, be assigned a designation, and be placed in Storage Unit 9-1 at Research Site 45. Here's a story from a man called William about his experience with 1471-A, which he calls it Capone. William started seeing Dr. Laura Brenz 2 years ago, after he first met Capone. William said, "I was scared when I first saw him. It happened just as you told me. The messages, the pictures, seeing him around every corner afterwards. I was so young. Who wouldn't have lost it?" Believe me, William, I know many people have reacted the same way. Fear is a more common reaction to the unknown than you'd think, Dr. Brenz consoled him. "It's not that I'm afraid of him anymore. I mean, he makes me jump when I see him in the morning. I don't think I'll ever get used to that. It's just the bad connotations he has," William rebutted. "I know that he does, but it happened 2 years ago. I know it's hard for you, especially with your shadow, but you need to carry on," Dr. Brenz stated. William just sighed as she continued. "Our session is almost up. We made some real progress, William. When you get home, I want you to think back to your first experience and write as much as you feel comfortable sharing. Is that all right?" "Yeah, thanks for seeing me." William then drove home from the doctor's office. He drops the backpack near the door. Go to the patio. Wave to Capone from the mirror. Fridge. Drink. Chair. Crash. He grabbed a few sheets of paper and a pen. Bit by bit, he pieced together the sequence of events that led up to this point. According to William, Capone had been with him ever since he was 15 years old. One day, Sarah, William's sister, told him about an app that she downloaded. She said to William, "It tracks you through your phone's GPS and sends you pictures of the places you've been, with a really cute monster placed in the photo to make it look like it's following you." Her description of it sounded pretty cool to him, so he asked Sarah to help him download it on his phone. After some prodding, she found the app, which was a surprise to the both of them. It was obvious that his phone didn't have any kind of GPS, but neither of them had even thought about it until much, much later. Soon, William received his first picture. The first picture he received was a photo taken in his school's courtyard, with Capone sitting on one of the benches. Capone was covered in his black, matted fur, with his knife-like claws, a set of blank, pure white eyes, and that face, which was merely a skull belonging to some kind of large beast, looking directly at them with that large, wolfish grin. William gave the phone back to Sarah, telling her how terrifying it was, and that he didn't want to receive such messages anymore. She just jokingly punched his shoulder, saying, "I'm sure he'll grow on you eventually. Tell you what, if you can put up with him for one whole week, we'll go see that movie you've been wanting to see. If he still gives you nightmares, we'll delete it. If you end up liking it, we'll laugh about it later. Deal?" William looked at it again and unwillingly agreed to it. Sarah was ecstatic after that and showed him all the pictures she received. She only had 3 so far, one at her office, one at the park, and another on the road they lived on, each picture containing her own clearly visible entity. Sarah told William that she had named it Cassandra. After that night, William continued to get pictures of Capone for a while, following him at school, the bus stop, his street, virtually everywhere he went. Some days later, William got called out from class by Sarah. While driving back home, she kept asking questions about Capone. Sarah then told him they were being pursued by something. She had no idea on how they were doing it, but she knew that they knew where she and William lived. She couldn't figure out how to delete it. She said she tried everything but couldn't find a way to get rid of it. She couldn't even find where the app went. Suddenly, William got a text from the app. Sarah froze and stared at him, as if to say, "Don't look at it." But he did it. The photo was taken from the hood of the moving car, giving them a clear view of what was behind them. Capone took up most of the back seat and towered over William. They both turned around, preparing to scream at the monstrosity behind them. But when they did, the seat was empty. They didn't know what was happening or what to make of it, but they felt that the only thing to do is to run away, abandoning the car. They hastily ditched the car, ran the rest of the way to the apartment, and locked the door behind them. They locked themselves in the bathroom and waited. They just stayed there, even when they got a message from Cassandra or Capone. Sarah would scream at them, asking why they were following them, and begged for them to be left alone. They felt helpless. All they could do was just sit in the bathroom and hope they would go away. The room felt like their only safe haven, until they were exposed to them for too long. Sarah started to panic, saying that she kept seeing one of them behind her. He tried to calm her down by telling her that maybe they were not really there. Then he saw Capone in the mirror. William convinced Sarah that they needed to leave the room right away. They couldn't stay in the apartment forever. They called the police and they both got help. Everyone's case was different in terms of interaction, but for William, Capone was always in a mirror or some reflective thing large enough to show it. Capone was predictable, and William could always find ways to block him out when he needed it. He learned how to expect Capone, and after a while, Capone kind of grew on him. Capone always seemed to try and interact with him, even if William didn't understand what it was trying to say most of the time. But he would greet Capone with a casual wave as he passed by it from the living room mirror, and eventually, Capone started to wave back. Capone kind of became a constant companion to William. However, Sarah was not as lucky as William. Her case was much more serious. She saw Cassandra everywhere she looked and around every corner. Unfortunately, Sarah couldn't handle it anymore and took her own life. Now, every time he sees Capone, he is reminded of what he did in the car that day. If he didn't pick up that text, she would still be here. But then again, who would have known? No one knows who made the MalOs or why. No one knows if anyone actually made the app. 2 years since the incident, William learned how to get used to Capone being there and carry on with his life. Despite everything, William found himself talking to it, like one would talk to a dog or cat about their day when they're alone. William always said to Capone, "At least I know you're interested." Before we end this video, we are proud to present these incredibly sweet pieces of fan art. A big thank you to all of you. You can now send us your fan art, and we will be more than happy to show off your best art piece in our next video. Check out our description below on how to submit. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Which SCP do you want to see in the next video and why it is interesting? Let us know in the comment below. We will draw your story and share it with the world. Don't forget to click like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. Please share it to your friends if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.